and she's persisted and pushed and pushed and pushed. And there's still work to be done, but I applaud her efforts in plowing forward.
Polite way of putting it, sir. But I agree. Thank you. Next up, Municipal Center Stormwater Project, 25GG01. Director Lewis.
Thank you again. Although this is a new CIP project, managing stormwater from the Municipal Center buildings was a part of the original vision for the renovation. Rain barrels were considered, but determined not to be appropriate for an office building. And again, relying on the expertise of my counterpart in Hyattsville, we talked about a cistern system or bioretention facility in the back of Town Hall and PD. This project will determine which is the most effective and affordable on both the front and back end in terms of ongoing maintenance. So we're excited about this project being added to the CIP.
Yeah, I think this is great, and if it dovetails in well with the whole redesign and the renovation, fantastic. And I see it's there's a partial stewardship grant from the county.
Yes.
Awesome.
I believe this is the town's first.
Great. Let's show them how well we do. Questions, comments from council and or the public regarding this item? Going once, twice. Be bashful. Okay.
I'm very excited to see this project on the list. Thank you so much for starting.
That is very much the far edge of sitting in the pocket, Mr. Mayor. Anyway, building weatherization and stabilization, 6105 51st Avenue, 22 PW03.
If I could take this one.
I will let the two of you decide that. I am not going to play referee.
And Director Lewis, if I missed something, but so a lot of work's been done, and we have to plan for more work to be done. But that wasn't in the cards for fiscal 25. We have to add funds, hopefully in fiscal 26, that will include widening the sidewalk to the front entrance. It's not wide enough if someone is accompanying someone who may have accessibility issues. We have to widen the doorway to the building, both the outer door and the inner door. So we understand that to further utilize this building, more money has to be invested. And we just didn't feel comfortable programming every dollar in the CIP fund because we also have some grant applications out there. We've put aside some funds for grant matches, but as we really step up the effort to get grants, we may need to tap into the CIP fund for matches over and above what's going to be in the final budget. And so we're going to hit pause on this for a year and come back in fiscal 26 is the plan.
So the 5,000 is for what purpose then?
I believe we transferred that out, did we not?
I'm seeing.
It's going to.
I'm seeing it as a source and an expenditure.
Or it's going to vehicle upgrades.
Oh, you're going towards PW vehicle upgrades. Okay.
Yep.
So this is going. You're essentially mothballing this till FY26.
Yes, because we needed some more money towards buying that UTV so we can plow the bike lanes.
Okay. Okay. Questions, comments from council and or the public regarding this project? Going once, twice, don't be bashful. Okay. DPW building renovations, project 23 PW04.
Director Lewis.
Sure.
I'm glad to
The
see it's still
architect
completed.
on the municipal center building is actually also the architect on the renovations at Public Works. Designs are currently being prepared with construction expected in the first half of FY '25 or by the end of the calendar year.
So this was be wrapped up by the end of the
Calendar year. That's the plan and expectation.
wonderful. Wonderful. This is great. Okay.
And that's provided the permitting process moves well.
Well, good Lord willing, and we get help from friends. Questions, comments from council and the public? Going once, going twice. Don't be bashful. Okay, next up. Back on the building demolition and parking lot development project 20 DS06.
Permits for both the demolition and parking lot design are currently pending in DPI, and both are expected to be completed this calendar year.
This calendar year.
Yes, we're expecting to get the demolition permit, if not the coming week, the week after that,
Of this month.
of this month. Finally.
Had me scared there for a second. When I was hearing by calendar year, I was thinking, no, not before Christmas. Oh my gosh. Okay, no, that's great to hear. We should send them a thank you note. Yes, wow, this is gonna be worth it. I can tell. Any questions, comments from council and or the public regarding this project? I know what my previous colleague from the previous Ward 4 would be saying right now. As, oh, Ms. Katz.
Just a quick question. I see it says CDA 30-year loan, 548,000. Help me understand what that is, that source of money?
That was,
Mr. Jones, did you want to take that?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
the CDA 30-year loan that's listed here, under the, balance part, for $548,000.
Yes, so we only show, we can only show but so many years on the CIP sheet, so the 548,000 that you see there, it predates fiscal year 2021.
Okay.
I can speak to that with a little bit
The
more detail.
acquisition?
So the CDA 30-year loan was initially for a much more ambitious municipal center renovation, and we reprogrammed it and moved some of the money into this project as when we realized that we had an opportunity to acquire the two properties in question.
Right.
And that was as Deputy Director Jones says, that was before 2021. It's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
Does that answer your question, Ms. Katz?
You're muted, Ms. Katz.
You're muted.
So that's something that we've been paying on now, a loan? Am I understanding that right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so we're
Those are
continuing
great.
to pay on it, and we would continue to pay on it anyway. We're using
Right.
it. Okay.
It
Thank
was
you.
money. It was money originally for the municipal renovation,
Mhm.
and we were able to repurpose it, and we used it so we could expand that footprint for the municipal center.
I'm amazed at how much this project's costing. Even the demolition, my gosh, I had no idea it would cost that much. And-
Well, we're doing it in a responsible way. We wanted to do it, and essentially, it's not just come in, someone, do essentially the raising version of grip it and rip it, and just throw the stuff in the back of something and take it off to the dump. We're trying to be thoughtful about it in terms of just, it's more of a substantial disassembly and allowing whatever could be salvageable go to places like Community Forklift and the like, for repurposing and reuse.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful. I didn't realize that that would be a higher cost. I naively thought that Community Forklift comes and just takes, and then it reduces the amount that we have to get rid of. And
So
have-
I think, Ms. Katz, you may be pointing out an issue under the expenditures, in the expenditures box, that there's
Yes.
parking lot construction is in there also. All expenditures are listing as being building demolition.
Okay.
And so, is that true, Mr. Town Manager, or Director Lewis?
Can whoever's controlling the screen, can you move it up so we can see the expenditures? Director Lewis, can you advise on how much the demolition is actually going to be?
I actually forget what the contractor's estimate was. I don't think it was higher than $70,000 to demolish both buildings and remove the trees that are slated for removal, and then grade the site or level the site in anticipation of the parking lot. Does that answer the question?
I guess I'm just wondering then, with that, why it's listed as $619,000 for building demolition expenditures.
Where are you reading that number from?
On page 231.
Top line under expenditures.
Yeah.
It just says building demolition expenditures, and I think that it might be,
Where it says total project cost. Oh, okay. Yes, it's not
Yeah.
619,000.
Yeah,
That's a typo in the roll-up of the numbers.
Yeah.
And so we will make a correction for next week. And because I believe Director Lewis is correct, the proposals are about 75,000 for demolition.
Sure.
And that includes dealing with the foundations and the basements, because we got to have proper drainage in that. So you have to at least punch holes through the concrete for water to be able to drain out.
Understand. Thank you so much for, I figured still that looked way, way, way high to me, and I don't know about this stuff, but.
Oh, no, that's way high. That's the total project cost. So that's just an error we have, and we'll fix
Okay,
it.
no problem. Thank you so much.
Any other questions from council and or the public? Once, twice. Okay. Pedestrian walkway in Queensbury Road security. This is project 23 PW06.
for other reasons, are you gonna take this one, Mr. Manager?
Well, I just want to add something up front. And that is, staff are recommending that we take $300,000 from our reserves, general fund reserves, and move it into this project because it's that important of a project. If anyone is present when school lets out, you will see a flood of individuals, children, their parents, guardians, whomever, spill out into what is the DPW workspace.
Yeah.
And we need to correct that.
Yes.
I think it's high priority enough to tap into reserves to make that happen. So in terms of the logistics in that, Director Lewis, if you want to add anything, but this is a high priority project, and it's something that I know Director Lewis has talked with Park and Planning about having some sort of a permeable surface across their property. And so there's lots of moving parts here, but our goal is to have it done in fiscal 25. Is that fair, Director Lewis?
That's correct. And I'll only add that at this point, the Queensbury Road security component is not moving forward, and we're really just focusing on the extending the existing sidewalk and creating this pathway through the open space.
And,
And
and, and-
engineering. Mhm.
and there will be a fence, and
Yes.
we'll have a barrier. So if you're taking the sidewalk, you can't get into the yard, and if you walk down through the DPW yard, you can't get to the sidewalk.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we'll be segregated.
And I'll just add that engineering and community engagement are currently underway.
Okay. Makes sense to me, especially in light of the past 4 months. Questions, comments?
Mr. Chair.
Mayor Thompson.
So just to focus again on exactly what this project is and how it is going forward. So there'll be a walkway, sidewalk, and permeable surface across MNC-PPC. I think it would be ideal if we could have our extension to the sidewalk also be permeable, or not have it add to the impermeable section. And that presumably starts somewhere sort of directly across from the corner of the Public Works building. And then between that sidewalk and what I would call the Public Works parking lot, that area, there'll be a new fence. Is that envisioned to be visibly permeable, or it's going to be a stockade fence, or is that to be determined still?
Go ahead, Mr. Manager.
Well, I was just going to say, I don't think we have a design, but I would imagine it would be a visible fence for security reasons, that you would want to be able to see through the fence to see what's going on the other side. So I don't think a stockade fence would meet those types of SEPTED requirements.
Okay.
And so I would envision more. It wouldn't necessarily be wrought iron, but something that looked like that.
Okay.
And probably of sufficient height that folks aren't going to be able to easily climb over.
Okay, and then is there going to be a gate across Queensbury Road, or is it going to be open going in on that end?
And not in this, not for 330,000.
Okay.
But perhaps in phase 2 we can work on that gate.
Okay, very good. And my final question is, the cul-de-sac, the boundary between town property or town right-of-way and the cul-de-sac is perhaps not as ideal as it should be. And you're talking about fencing off on that end. And I was curious about where the fence is going to go on that end.
We're going to have to work with Park and Planning because your memory is correct, sir. And because we currently utilize space that's not ours. So we are going to have to work out an agreement with Park and Planning.
Okay. Those are my questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Any other questions, comments from the council? Going once, Ms. Katz.
Thank you again. Trying to visualize this area. I'm familiar with it. And I don't know if this is realistic or not, but would you at all consider in any portions of this fencing to be a living fence? You could actually put up a real fence until the living fence matured. It's my understanding that currently there's a water retention, like a drainage area behind the cul-de-sac. Do you know what I'm talking
Rain
about?
garden.
That's correct. A rain garden.
Call it
Rain
a,
garden
you can
one.
call it a rain garden. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Because there's a lot of infrastructure there, I believe, right? It was installed, the infrastructure for water management, but it
Right.
has a lot of what I would has pricker bushes, like barberry bushes, which were put around for your the person here before you, Director Lewis, at one point told me, yes, that was to keep people out of that area, was to put these bushes with spines on them. So I say that ironically because that's not what I'm recommending necessarily, but that would be like a living fence. But certainly other plants that don't have can be dense that people aren't going to want to go through. But
I think we'll have to work through design details.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, I don't think we have the space where you would be able to have a living fence there. And I also don't think for the purpose that we want to install a fence, that it would give us the proper security. We have to keep kids out of the DPW area.
Understand.
So in this case, I don't think it will be feasible, but we certainly can talk to the designers about it. So Director Lewis, if you can make a note, let's have the designers tell us whether that's feasible or not, and if it meets our requirements.
Thank
I've
you.
made that note, yeah, yeah. I like the visual that I got with that.
I think that at the cul-de-sac end, there may be space to certainly install something to screen the fence and make it look more natural too.
Oh, in the cul-de-sac, I agree, sir. Yes.
Okay. Any other questions or comments regarding this project? Going once, twice. We got your trimmers. Project. Council chamber camera, 14GG02.
Director Barnes.
Hello, this project will be timed with the municipal center renovations. We expect to go out to do a RFP in the coming weeks and have something in place as the building is reopened. And this will allow for us to have hybrid meetings. And one other thing I wanted to note is that we did make an adjustment to the expenditures, I think, or yes, funding sources, because we had initially put the entire amount of PEG funds that we had, because this is one of the things that we can actually use those funds for. But we adjusted it to be a little bit closer to what we expect the expenditure to be.
So we're looking at an expenditure of
Not to-
70,000?
No, and not to exceed the 125, and then we'd have 70,000 carried forward.
Okay. And these are CIP funds. Am I reading this right, or is this?
These are PEG funds, so it's restricted use CIP funds.
Okay, so it has to be used for this.
Correct. It has to be used for capital expenditures as it relates to public education and government.
Okay. Is this use it or lose it type expenditure, or is this just?
It's not, but at some point we have to draw down these funds.
Okay.
It's nice to have a pot of money that you can use just for this one thing. So it's nice to be able to use the funds.
Oh, I agree. Okay,
Yeah,
so
whatever
it's
we need.
there. It's there. Someone was nice enough to give it to us, so. Okay. You're on candid camera.
Mr. Chair, if I may,
Mayor Thompson.
just want to comment that I hope, since I think no expense is being spared here, since we can't spend this on anything else, that we do a very good job on audio, because I am so looking forward to having a good audio system where people perhaps remember to unmute more often, and having, good user interface on the microphones, good acoustic design, the ability to have multiple microphones throughout the room. All these things just seem like a great idea. So hope we can do that.
Mr. Mayor, if I could add to that, regretfully, as much of a joy as it was singing happy birthday to you last week, no expense is going to improve the voice of the council member from Ward 1. Apologies for that.
Nor the town manager, sir.
Town manager sounded great.
Come on. We all love that southern drawl. Any other questions, comments regarding this project? Going once, going twice. Next project, which would have been technology improvements, project 20FS01, but that has been moved to the operating budget. So we're just going to skip ahead to website update 23AS01.
Director Barnes.
I'm sorry, are we on the website redesign? My apologies, I looked down
Yes,
for a
we are
second.
on website update.
I think I'm getting delirious, Councilman, I apologize. So the website redesign is a pretty exciting project. We plan to go out to have an RFP at the end of this fiscal year to have the money, a contract locked in by the end of the calendar year when we were originally looking at the ARPA funds expiring at that time. But that plan remains the same. We're going to go out and get some quotes and see what we can come up with for a new website. We'll also get some community feedback and engagement on some types of things that folks are looking for. But the whole goal is to for the website to be interactive and to have a lot of those neat features that you see on other municipal websites. So that is what we're looking to do. And that's the timeline. So it's a big project. We did do this, I think, in 2017. So it's not too far in past history. We know what we need to do to get out there and what we're looking for. And yeah, so we'll have a nice new website, hopefully by the end of the fiscal year. I think we'll have a contract by the end of the calendar year and everything worked out, and then a new website in place by the end of the fiscal year.
Okay, that sounds great. Any questions or comments regarding this line item in CIP? Going once, going twice, and I won't be bashful. Ms. Barnes, have you considered an advisory committee for this?
So I had been thinking of doing some sort of a community survey to get some more feedback. But an advisory committee may work as well, as long as we have folks who are engaged and interested in working on this. So yeah, I'm open. I think we're open to either option.
Okay. All right. Well, I know some folks. I'll chat with them and I'll tell them to get in touch with you.
Certainly.
Does that work?
Definitely.
Oh,
thank you.
hands are going up all of a sudden. I must have said something. Gosh, let me see. I'm going with the rookie this time. Councilmember Smith. Not really the rookie, the junior.
That's still my rookie year. That's a long
No,
rookie.
it's not. That was a misnomer, you know.
No thumbs down emoji was really negative in that. I was going to give that a thumbs down.
No, I was a misspeak, but Councilmember Smith, go ahead.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm wondering if we are statutorily required by any relative related statute to ensure like certain levels of accessibility with the website. I ask, my day job experience working with federal websites that have the 508 compliance requirement. I'm wondering if we have that requirement, and if not, just want to make sure that we are prioritizing accessibility, even if it isn't required by statute.
Absolutely. That's typically a component of a lot of these municipal websites. So I anticipate that that'll be a focus that'll be, very apparent right on into the process. But we'll include that, of course, in our request for proposals.
Outstanding. Appreciate staff keeping focused on that. Thank you.
Good question. Like that. Councilmember Phil.
You were right to choose him. I was just going to advocate on behalf of Councilmember Smith and Inyang, having a lot of experience, knowledge, and really great suggestions that we've had in dialogue. I know Councilmember Inyang had to drop off, but they can bring it to the table in this area. So thank you very much.
All right, great. Thank you, sir. Any other questions, comments? Okay, I'm picking up the stall count at 8. Don't be bashful. Okay, let's move on. Technology Improvements Project 21 PD05. And I see that picture and it's like deja vu all over again. More tough books? Is this what we're going for?
It's one tough book.
Just one tough book.
That's what we're projecting.
Okay. Questions, comments from council or the public regarding this acquisition? Going once, going twice.
Mr. Chair.
Just in under the wire.
Uh,
Councilmember Smith, yes.
I'm just wondering, are we getting the advertised life cycle out of these models? My experience with the Panasonic Tough books in a former line of work, which has been some time ago now, but they were sort of known for not living up to expectations. I'm just wondering if we have had that same experience, and if so, if we've looked at alternatives.
We have not experienced any issues. They've lived up to their life cycle.
Outstanding. Sounds good. Thank you.
Gosh, you got units still on Windows 7s here, man. These things just keep going. The credit to you guys. Any other questions, comments regarding this? Going once, twice. Okay, let's move on. Neighborhood Safety Camera System Project 20PD01.
I can take this one. The funds in FY '24 are expected to fund cameras on 54th Place and Kennedy Paper Street off 54th Avenue. And in FY 2025, we anticipate identifying new locations for neighborhood safety cameras.
Okay, and this is ARPA funds?
ARPA
fund.
funds
Okay,
for, definitely for FY '25.
okay.
And currently, the 2024 budget has ARPA funds as well.
And,
Okay.
and we'll seek grants to further expand the program if the
I
council.
see. You have an ambitious goal of 150. I think that's great.
We're pushing hard on the grants, sir.
Okay. Questions, comments from council and or the public? Councilmember Smith, such restraint. Going once, going
I think
twice.
my feelings on this these items are well known, and as is the or the majority opinion on that. So I don't want to take everybody's time.
I understand your feelings, sir. Okay, let's move on. Traffic signs, project 23 PWD05.
So this project supports the walk, bike, drive with a focus on installing flashing stop and pedestrian crossing signs at locations with high pedestrian activity. As we reported at the State of the Town, 45 flashing signs have already been installed throughout town. And this is a program we just hope to continue. There are new products out there, for example, where the word stop flashes, and we're looking into the cost of that, and for signs that have a sensor, so they don't flash until you cross that sensor. We actually have a meeting with the vendor, I believe next week, to look at that product.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So you would see this as something that would be, you know, we've got ARPA funds in this, we got a whole bunch of stuff. Fiscal year, calendar year conclusion?
We're continuing to purchase the flashing signs. Like I said, we're investigating 2 different types. And so we hope to have additional signs up before the end of this fiscal year and continuing into next year.
Okay, all right, so this is just more ongoing.
Exactly.
Okay.
Mhm.
But you would see newer versions going in during this coming, by the conclusion of this fiscal year, or just going into the calendar year as well?
Well, both. So we're looking into the flashing sign where the word stop flashes. See if we can find it at a better cost. It's about $3,000 or $4,000, where the others are $2,000.
Okay.
But I see the location right at the end of the bridge at 47th and Riverdale Park Station to be a good candidate for that. Motorists hardly stop at that stop sign at
Okay,
the foot of the bridge. Yeah.
okay.
Mhm.
Questions, comments regarding this item? Council, public? Going once, going twice.
Mr. Chair, this is not related to this item, but before we adjourn for the day, then I would like to discuss another issue with stop signs.
You want to discuss an issue about stop signs?
Yes, it probably should have been discussed earlier in the meeting, but I would like to discuss it before we adjourn today.
Okay, well, we will, but for right now, I want to keep moving on this because we're on a good roll. And the next one that we're looking at, the e-message board, is completed projects. So it allows us to move on. To office furnishings, 21 PW 02, which is, I see this is going to be going in our town hall when it gets finished.
Yes, in the office of the Director of Public Works and Special Project Coordinator.
Nice. And this is with ARPA money? By the looks of it, ARPA funds will be, okay.
Mhm.
Okay, and so when you're looking to have this for the coming calendar year?
Yes.
Yes, and I apologize, I had to step aside. This is more than just those two offices.
Okay.
This is we have to buy a standing desk for the new neighborhood services person, and we need to provide some new furniture in the expanded area of the police department on the second floor. So
Okay.
we have to stretch this money pretty far. So it's not for two offices. It's rather for probably 5.
Okay. Okay. Questions, comments regarding this? Council, public? Going once, going twice. Okay, we will move on. Acting Chief Turner, vehicle replacement for the police project 11 PD 06.
Mr. Chair, where's the boundary of projects and acquisitions for today's meeting?
That's a good question. This looks like this is all acquisitions. This is streetlight acquisition, trolley trail lighting. Streetlight improvement is completed, trolley trail is complete. Well, the rest here look like acquisitions, my apologies. Well, we do have the Natoli Place redesign and engineering services here. We could technically call engineering services an acquisition because it is acquiring a service. And we got some sidewalk improvements also and stormwater management project improvements here towards the end. So a lot of these are walk, bike, drive safety initiative stuff too. So, okay, what we're gonna do is
Mr. Chair, I would recommend that this might just be a good place to break for the day. We've been here for 6.5 hours, and
it's about 6.
Director Barnes was mentioning being delirious a few minutes ago. So
right. Okay, well, let me see. We've gotten through up to yes, the council member Foe is already outside, which is I'm sure making everybody jealous. Okay, well, what we will do is we'll stop here at after office furnishing, and we'll stop here at 11 PD 06, and we'll pick this up next week.
okay, can I have my brief
And
discussion? of stop signs?
you had something you wanted to talk about regarding stop signs, so please go right ahead.
Yes. So in a surprise but pleasant surprise move, the General Assembly passed the Prince George's County automated stop sign enforcement law very close to the end of the session and removed the numeric restrictions. There had been a restriction of only 10 stop signs in the county, and that number was removed. And so I think we don't know enough at this time to have something firm in the budget, but I've was texting with the town manager earlier, and he's going to look into perhaps just renaming some of the current automated enforcement lines in order to make them general enough that we can do things underneath those. And I just wanted to bring that up in this meeting in case anyone wanted to discuss.
Well, it sounds then we can put any number of automated stop sign enforcement or enforcement signs.
There is apparently a process that we have to go through, and as I said, this was just barely passed. I'm not even sure if it's been signed yet, and so I think we don't want to get too far ahead, but just renaming the Safe Speed for Students to perhaps or looking into renaming it to see if we can do stop signs as well as speed under that might be good. Safe streets for students.
Safe streets for students. There you go. I mean, that would be my suggestion. And being that we still need to get a signature on it and understand what's all involved, and we're probably looking at a different structure in terms of what's going to be at the stop signs and how that's going to run. And then we're looking at contracting out to a company to process any violations. Sounds like a work session item.
Definitely, but in terms of the budget, if we make given an existing budget category more flexible, then it might make it possible for us to do more in the upcoming year without having to amend the budget.
So renaming the line item Safe Streets for Students.
Perhaps. I'm not going to shoot from the hip here. I'm going to just say that that there's an issue and we should try to address it.
And Mr. Chair and Mr. Mayor, if I may, staff will take a look at that this week, and we'll probably have a recommendation for you next Saturday.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Let's leave it at that then. At 4 o'clock, I want to wrap this up. Folks, thank you very much. And we will, I think we got a fair amount done today, quite more than a fair amount done. Thank you all for hanging in there, sticking in there. Yes, and Councilmember Fo, we are a little bit jealous that you're already outside, but that's okay. We know how you like to be outside. So until next Saturday, folks, this concludes the first of 2 sessions of discussing the 2025 municipal budget for the town of Riverdale Park. And we will have part 2 next Saturday, April 20th, 2024, beginning at 9:30. And before leaving, I'd be remiss if not acknowledging a notable birthday this month that really should not go unnoticed. And in closing, I just wanted to be able to wish to, someone who I do greatly admire, and that would be a happy 80th birthday to bassist Jack Cassidy. Oh, did the mayor think I was going to say something about his 60th up in Burlington, Vermont his birthday was Tuesday the 9th. And I wouldn't want
and I was on the Jersey Turnpike that day, so.
And you were on the Jersey. Hey, what a way to spend your 60th, But anyway, as well to the mayor, we already sang you happy birthday and we won't do that again. But yes. And with that, thank you all. See you next Saturday.
Thank you very much.
Have you left?